Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be discussing the DFG drawers, what I think of them and how I installed them. Enjoy. Here's a look at the drawers fully installed. Overall, very satisfied with them. Before I start this though, I just want to caveat the fact that these are a budget drawer. They are not the best that money can buy. However, for the price that they are the best value that I have ever seen. Extremely durable, extremely great quality, and the price is unbeatable. Right now on the DFG Offroad website, these are listed for $750, and then they'll throw in the wings for free. So let's just get a closer look. The wings have quite a bit of storage in them. This side here, I have an air compressor in there. Quite a bit that you can put in there. The drawers are fairly deep as well. And then they have bumpers that you can install so that the drawer doesn't come all the way out. Nice positive latches as well. And then here in this drawer, keep some medical supplies and some other things. But then also there's the optional table that you can get with your drawers to use as a cutting board. You can even cook on here. It's pretty sturdy, made out of stainless. This will set you back about $100. So this side of the drawer has a sliding fridge slide that comes out. I find it pretty high. When I do end up putting a fridge in the back of the truck, I'll use one of DFG's tilting fridge slides. So take a look at his page, his website for those. They pull out and then also slide down to help you get in your fridge a little easier. So like I said, very happy with these drawers. Drawers of similar quality will set you back probably as much as $1,200 or more. Some of the higher end ones like Goose Gear are going to set you back $2,000, and I find that a lot of money, especially for something that's ultimately made out of wood, right? So I know that they've got the wood is treated and it has a coating on it, but that's a lot of money, and this comes in at a really affordable price. Now, for those of you in Australia, know the Titan drawers, and I believe that these are made by Titan, but here for the US market and sold by DFG Offroad. I would recommend these to anyone, especially at the price they come in. Unbeatable. And DFG Offroad is somewhat of a smaller company here in Jacksonville, Florida, and I would rather support a small company, especially good guys, than support a larger one. When you call them, you have the best customer service. He works with you directly. In fact, you know, I should tell you that when I had talked to Carlos, I was on quarantine for COVID, and I wasn't going to make it down there, and he actually brought them to my house. He's a fantastic guy to work with, and I'd recommend him to anybody. So here's some of the tools that I used to install these drawers. I used a cutoff wheel and then my angle grinder here to cut the brackets to allow for the additional bolts to go in. If you're looking at the instructions, especially the Dobinson instructions, because these are very, very similar, it only calls for 4 bolts. I ended up using 8 bolts in total, the 8 factory latch bolts. And to do that, you're gonna have to cut out some of the bracket with a cutoff wheel. And then I have a deburring tool or a carbide bit here that I use to elongate the holes for the rear, which I'm gonna show you here in a little bit. A Sharpie is always good for marking the spots to cut. A good Allen key set is gonna come in handy because everything on these drawers is held together with Allen keys. And then also drill bits and a good quality drill. If you have access to these tools, if you have an air compressor to run the angle grinder, you'll be able to install these drawers exactly how I did. If not, you can still install them with 4 bolts instead of 8. You are going to need a drill for that back bracket there, just to make the hole a little bit bigger to fit the bolts in the back. To start the drawer install, first remove the seats and seat brackets in the back if you have them. I want to say that they were 14 millimeters. I don't remember exactly, but each seat rail should have 3 bolts in the back and 2 bolts in the front. Remove the seats and put the bolts back. I like to put the bolts back in the body to prevent against getting corrosion in the threads and for moisture making its way up in from the bottom of the car up into the back of the car. Also, remove the front, and by front I mean rear, cargo hooks, the hooks that are closest to the tailgate. Remove those and put the bolts back. Those were at 10 millimeter if I remember right. Next, remove the seat latches in the center. I believe those were 14 millimeter as well. Each latch should have each latch should have 2 bolts, and there should be 4 latches total, a total of 8 bolts. Leave the bolts out of those locations though, because those are the bolt holes that you're going to use to secure the drawers. Now, this is where I use a razor blade to cut away a little bit of the carpet. Just cut away the carpet around the bolt holes so that when you get the drawers in, you'll be able to easily access those bolt holes. Remove the drawers and then place the whole drawer frame in the back of the truck. Now, what you want to do next is remove the top cover of the right hand side of the drawer. So the left hand side is on a roller. As you know, that one pulls out. No need to remove that one because you can slide it forward to work on, but the other one, go ahead and remove it. It's got I want to say 8 screws or so that hold the top cover on, in addition to those tie down points. So remove the tie down points. Those have 4 screws each. And then also remove the other remaining screws, and then that top cover should come right off. Now, that's going to give you access to all the areas you need to access to install your drawers. Next, find the fit kit and put it on the drawers. So I had my drawers all bolted up when I first did this, and then I went to go put the fit kit on and realized the fit kit didn't fit, and that's because I didn't have the drawers in the right location. So I would just caution you to start with that. Now, it's going to come with 2 L-shaped brackets and then the wings that go on top. Now, the one that has a hole in it is for the rear. And when I say rear, furthest forward in the vehicle. So, and then there should be corresponding holes in the side of the drawer that should line up and give you those give you those indicator marks. Line those up on the side of the drawers, then put your wings on top and bolt it down. And then center your drawers in the truck where you have even contact with the wings on both sides. Now, this is going to be where your drawers are going to stay. Now, looking inside of the drawer itself, there's 2 bars, and these are your mounting bars. And if you look on along the inside of the drawer area itself, it's got a bunch of little holes to line those bars up with. Now, these drawers are a universal fit. They're not made for 80 series specifically. You can put them in any vehicle, and then you would just relocate those mounting bars to adapt to whatever you're doing. So this is where I would unbolt them from the drawers themselves and line them up with those factory holes where you'd remove the carpet, line it up with those factory holes, and then make some marks on the drawer, and then also make some marks if you need to remove any material in the crossbars. Now, if you're going to do it like I did, and you want to run 8 bolts in total, you're going to have to remove the material between the first 2 slots. If you're looking at the very center of the drawer or of the bar, the first 2 slots on either side, you're going to have to remove some material there to make those first 2 holes kind of one big hole, because that bar that's in between the 2 of them kind of lays right over the top of your inside bolt. So get your cutoff wheel out and remove that material there. Now, on the front, that's all I had to do. So you would only have to make 2 or remove those 2 bars, one on either side on the furthest rearward bar, and then you can go ahead and bolt that up. I use the factory bolts and just put them back in the holes. No need to do anything else there. Now, the rear is a little bit more tricky. To access the rear, I would make sure that you fold that second row forward. You're going to do a lot of work back there, and you're going to have to get behind it. So your second row, fold it up nice and neat so you can access that area. Now do the same thing, line up your bars, and then use your Sharpie to mark areas of the bar that you need, where you need to remove material. Now you're going to have to remove that little center piece like we did on the first bar. Then we'll also have to make the holes a little bit bigger to accommodate for the bolt holes. Now, when you're all lined up and you're ready to install your final bar, the instructions say to stack washers underneath to keep from bending the bar. Now, there's a little bit of a gap in the back where you don't have it in the rear. Go ahead and stack those washers. I use 2 washers for each bolt hole. Now, I kind of feared that wasn't enough. there is a little bit of a gap there still. So if you wanted to go find some additional washers to stack under that bracket, that'd probably be good. But then I went to Home Depot and bought new bolts and a flat washer, which I'm going to show here. And the reason for that is the bolts that come in the kit are not specific to the Land Cruiser. You're going to have to get bolts that are going to fit those factory holes. So the long bolt and the nylock nut we aren't going to use in this install. Using the Home Depot bolt and washer, bolt everything down, make sure that it is still centered and snug, and lastly, we're going to put the drawers in and install the bumps. Now, this can be a little hard to see, but with the drawer out, you should see 2 holes in the very back of both the drawers. Make sure to kind of drill out or poke holes in the carpet so that you can access those bolt holes. And before I forget as well, there's a piece of adhesive foam that you should put on the very, very back of the drawer. Now, this is so the drawer contacts it when it's fully closed and prevents any type of rattling. So to install the bumps, make sure the carpet is drilled out, like I said, and then install the drawer into the frame. And then you're going to place the bump on the outside of the rail. Now, there's a flat spot and a raised, kind of like a bump in it. Now, the rubber portion of the bump should be faced towards the back, kind of towards your tailgate. And then the bump portion, or the flat portion of the bump should be along the rail itself. Now, it's going to fit flush, and then you use the included screws to mount the bump from the inside. Once both drawers are installed and the bumps are installed, go ahead and reinstall your top cover on the right side, reinstalling all those Allen screws, and that's it. You're all done. You get to enjoy your new drawers.